Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's another story time. Today I have a story to share with you that left a profound impact on me. It's about kindness, the ripple effect, and how small actions can make a big difference. So sit back, relax, and let's dive right in. Recently, I was in New York, one of the busiest and most hectic cities in the world. I was riding in a taxi with a friend. As we pulled up to our destination and stepped out, my friend did something that completely took me by surprise. He turned to the driver and said, "Thank you for the ride. You did a superb job of driving." The taxi driver was stunned for a moment, his eyes wide with surprise. He seemed almost suspicious as he asked, "Are you a wise guy or something?" My friend smiled warmly and replied, "No, my dear man. And I'm not putting you on. I admire the way you keep cool in heavy traffic." For a second, the driver just sat there processing what he had heard. Then he nodded, a small smile tugging at the corners of his mouth, and drove off. I was baffled. Turning to my friend, I asked, "What was that all about?" My friend's response was something I'll never forget. He said, "I am trying to bring love back to New York. I believe it's the only thing that can save the city." I couldn't help but laugh a little, thinking he was joking. "How can one man save New York?" I asked. He looked at me seriously and said, "It's not about one man. I believe I have made that taxi driver's day. Suppose he has 20 fares today. He's going to be nice to those 20 fares because someone was nice to him. Those fares, in turn, will be kinder to their employees, shopkeepers, waiters, or even their own families. Eventually, the goodwill could spread to at least 1,000 people. Now, that isn't bad, is it?" I was still skeptical. "But you're depending on that taxi driver to pass your goodwill to others," I said. My friend nodded and replied, "I'm not depending on it. I'm aware that the system isn't foolproof, so I might deal with 10 different people today. If out of 10, I can make 3 happy, then eventually I can indirectly influence the attitudes of 3,000 more." I couldn't help but feel a bit cynical. "It sounds good on paper, but I'm not sure it works in practice," I admitted. He smiled and said, "Nothing is lost if it doesn't." It didn't take any of my time to tell that man he was doing a good job. He neither received a larger tip nor a smaller tip. If it fell on deaf ears, so what? Tomorrow there will be another taxi driver I can try to make happy. I laughed and said, "You're some kind of a nut." He looked at me kindly and replied, "That shows how cynical you have become. I have made a study of this. The thing that seems to be lacking, besides money, of course, for our postal employees, is that no one tells people who work for the post office what a good job they're doing." I argued, "But they're not doing a good job." He looked at me thoughtfully and said, "They're not doing a good job because they feel no one cares if they do or not. Why shouldn't someone say a kind word to them?" As we were walking, we passed a construction site. There were 5 workmen eating their lunch, looking tired and worn out. My friend stopped and said, "That's a magnificent job you men have done. It must be difficult and dangerous work." The workmen eyed him suspiciously, probably thinking he was mocking them. One of the men grunted, June, in response to when the job would be finished. My friend nodded appreciatively and said, "Ah, that really is impressive. You must all be very proud." As we walked away, I told him, "I haven't seen anyone like you since Man of La Mancha." He smiled and said, "When those men digest my words, they will feel better for it. Somehow the city will benefit from their happiness." I couldn't help but protest, "But you can't do this all alone. You're just one man." He looked at me and said, "The most important thing is not to get discouraged. Making people in the city become kind again is not an easy job, but if I can enlist other people in my campaign." Just then, he winked at a very plain-looking woman passing by. I pointed it out, and he replied, "Yes, I know, and if she's a school teacher, her class will be in for a fantastic day." This story taught me a valuable lesson. Sometimes all it takes is a small act of kindness to set off a chain reaction of goodwill. We often underestimate the power of our words and actions. So why not take a moment today to compliment someone, show appreciation, or simply smile at a stranger? You never know how far that small act of kindness can go. Thank you for listening to this story. If it touched you, please give it a thumbs up